Thank you so much, Commissioner Gillette. Good morning to everybody in the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. I want to thank you for this hearing in response to the legislature's request for a review of Eversource's excessive delivery rate increase on July 1st of 2020. Also want to call to the attention of everybody the lack of adequate notice that was provided to affected parties, particularly in light of the company's reductions of their restorative services prior to the tropical storm Isaias response, which has a direct correlation. I also want to thank PURA for suspending the contested and excessive rate increase, particularly in light of its timing during a period of severe economic hardship to so many Eversource ratepayers, particularly those that we all identify as vulnerable, particularly in a wage-constrained pandemic economy. On behalf of my constituents, I have to express serious concerns and consistent frustrations with this public utilities rate setting practices, the lack of public notice, its corporate culture of arrogance, like Representative Lavielle had just referred. These folks never even said thank you. They have not 1 ounce of humility. And last I checked, as a publicly traded company, they do have some responsibility to their consumers, if not, not just to their share payers. But when people called Eversource to talk about the increase in their bills, the utility quickly deflected and pointed fingers at the legislature. When people asked for credit on their bills to help mitigate the devastating effects of having a lower income and having a higher electric bill, an outrageously higher electric bill, not only were they denied, but often they were mocked. When I spoke with an Eversource supervisor, I was hung up on. Despite PURA's order to mitigate the increase in the rate, by August 7th, 2020, Eversource doesn't appear to have complied with that order whatsoever. And now we're in the process of seeing a second month of inflated billing come out without regard for or respect for the PURA action. I just don't understand how that's possible. I do have some questions. They're in my written testimony. PURA stated in July 31st letter that you approved the delivery charge increase on June 26. I'd like to just sort of lay it out, and I know it can't be answered now, but I'd like to know what PURA's role is in such hearings regarding utility rate changes and other service deficiencies. I'd like to have a description of what PURA's commission makeup is, how individuals come to be commissioners, and how long do they serve. How many PURA commissioners were present at the June 26, 2020 meeting at which this rate increase was accepted? Did that represent a quorum? Is a quorum even required? And if it's not, why? I'd also like to see an identification of all the members of the public, legislators, Connecticut's constitutional officers and representatives of Eversource that were present at that June 26 meeting. What time did it come to order and when did it adjourn? And just exactly how much discussion went into this particular rate increase during that meeting. And then finally, I can't understand why there was no legislative or public notice given prior to the bill showing up, in the first and second week of July. So there's a lot of questions that have to be answered. And, out of respect for everybody's time, I'm not going to talk about the storm response, but that'll be later this week with the committee. Thank you. Thank you so much for your consideration. You guys, hold the future of Connecticut in your hands. We have to have reliable energy, and it needs to be affordable. So thank you very much.